Thank you for listening to the Golden Hour Drip podcast with me, Logan Lee Miller. Enjoy the show. You guys, I just got so lucky. I had my Stanley cup, and I would never do this, but I had my cup and it's sitting on my desk. I went to go grab it by the top, okay? I did not screw the lid on, and it literally almost toppled on my desk. It's quite messy right now, okay? I got a lot of things. We are having the Golden Gal Network event this upcoming Saturday. So excited. But I have like all this stuff out, okay? Like it's on my desk. I have my computers, I have everything. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a little sip of water before I start my podcast. I go to grab it, and literally could have been disastrous, but I'm feeling lucky, okay? It did not spill. Everything is okay. Everything is fine. I'm so happy. So just utterly grateful that it did not, topple over, spill over everything, and just ruin my entire day, right? Like it was perfect. So I'm feeling lucky. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining me on the Golden Hour Drip podcast. Honestly, like I am feeling a little pep in my step. I am feeling good about this warm weather. I know that, what is it? Tuxapani Phil, the groundhog, he did say that we are gonna have an early spring. I'm feeling it, but according to my uncle, who has like the 100-day, it's not the almanac, I forget what it's called, but it's a book essentially, and it predicts the weather. And his little book said that we're actually gonna get pretty bad cold weather. We're gonna have like springtime for a little bit, like 2 weeks, and then we're gonna have like another little chilly experience. So I'm not looking forward to that aspect, but I do feel like my entire mood, energy, body, everything has just gotten a little pop of energy. Honestly, okay, a pop of happiness. Just overall, I'm feeling good today, okay? I'm feeling really good. I got some new tennies, okay? I'm trying to break them in because next week I'm headed to Florida to visit Andrew and Rachel. So I'm about to go on a little walk outside as soon as I finish up with this podcast. I'm feeling good, okay? It's sunny, it's bright. I don't know where you are or what weather you are experiencing, but I'm ready for spring, okay? I'm ready to be putting my flowers out and being outside. Today was the first time where like Rooster and Rowdy ran, like they run outside, they run around, do all the things. And my feet didn't feel cold on the concrete. Like my feet actually just felt fine walking out as they're, running around, going potty, doing the things. I'm like, oh my gosh, this concrete has warmed up. I don't feel like icy cold. Like we're doing great things. It's amazing, and I'm enjoying it. Okay, I'm enjoying this beautiful weather, and I hope that you are also enjoying it. It's Friday. It is your Ask the Gal segment. Okay, it's me and you tonight. And I have 3 questions. So we're going to get right into it because 20 minutes goes faster than I think. Like I am so used to my Monday episodes being an hour long. I love an hour long episode. And it's hard for me to wait to chat with you, week by week, 4 episodes a month. That's almost not enough for me to chat with you, right? So I added the Friday episodes. It's been about a whole year since I've done consistently the double episodes. And Friday episodes, I like to keep it short and sweet. I like it to be you and me. We're talking, and 20 minutes is almost too short, but 30 minutes is almost like not enough time. So I go back and forth on like how long the Friday episode should be, but I don't want any pressure on myself, right? Like I don't want to be like, oh, it's another hour-long podcast, even though I look forward to them. I still have to have content for you, right? Like I still gotta have something good to talk about. So without further ado, we're not gonna waste any more time. We're gonna get into it. First question. My boyfriend and I are moving in together. What advice do you have? So Garrett is my husband. We have been married. It will be 4 years in October. So we're about 3.5 years in. We moved in and lived together about, I think, a year, if not 2 years before we got married. And then before that, like we hung out at each other's house and definitely had a lot of sleepovers, okay? From his house or my house. But nothing prepares you for actually living together, right? Like I would stay at his house, I would, have clothes there, I'd feel comfortable enough to do, like, if I needed to do some laundry, I threw like my shirts in it. Like we were very comfortable at this point, and we would cook food together, we would spend as much time as we possibly could together, and nothing prepared me for actually him moving into my home. I will say, he moved in with me. I did not move in with him. It might have been a different situation if I had moved in with him, or we had gotten our own place together, because we were saving money for our wedding, saving money for, we had just gotten out of college, and we were just, it was a time we did not have a lot of money. Okay, so he was paying rent, and we decided, like, okay, he's just gonna move in with me, my dad, and my little brother. My dad's house is a huge old farmhouse, and we were in the upstairs in my bedroom. Okay, and we had like a common room on the other side. It's pretty big, honestly. There was not, we didn't feel like we didn't have any space. We were together, but we were still like separate from my dad and little brother. So we were upstairs, and it was entirely off-putting, almost devastating. I had a little bit of a meltdown, to be honest, when Garrett was moving his stuff into my room, because to me, I have a thing with like clutter, and I have a thing with like too much stuff and things not being organized. Like, it just really grinds my gears. It's not fun. It's not great. And that's like a personal little tick that I have. I hate it. It makes me so irrationally crazy and just upset if things aren't like put away or how I want them. I'm sure I drive Garrett nuts, because I just rearranged our cabinets for like the 3rd time in the last 6 months. I'm very particular, and it just felt like an invasion of my environment. We had 2 dressers instead of 1 dresser. We had his dresser, we had my dresser, we had all of his stuff, we had all the things that were so near and dear and important to Garrett's self and his belongings, and we threw away so much stuff. Like, we did not bring in a lot of his apartment things. Like, he got rid of a lot, and it still felt like such an invasion of me. And for that, I wish we would have, instead of moved in with me, and that's the only way. I don't know how it would have been if I moved in with him, but I will say, when we moved into our house, when we moved into our home, and it was us coming together, and it was kind of like a neutral environment, I will say that was better. And also, like, we had packed up a bunch of our things, so there wasn't room in my bedroom when Garrett had first moved in with me to actually like have his stuff in there too. So we boxed some stuff up, things that he had on the wall, and then we also got things for our wedding, and I did not let Garrett have like anything from our wedding. I was like, this was nice, we're gonna send a thank you card, and we're boxing it up and we're saving it for the new house, because at that time we were under construction for this house. And so we still had to mingle Garrett's stuff, my stuff, and all of our wedding stuff when we moved into this home. And it was so nice to have like a neutral ground. It wasn't his, it wasn't mine. We completely had to put our stuff and commingle our things from, okay, we lived in, my bedroom with my childhood stuff, essentially, right? Like, this is my family home. It had a lot of my college stuff that we did not throw out. Like, I reorganized, I put it somewhere else sometimes, but and that probably is bad for him, like, so sorry, Garrett, but we got a lot of my stuff, and then we had to box it up and come to this neutral house. And I will say that transition was way better. I don't know if it was just we were sick and tired of living, or probably Garrett actually, living with my dad and my brother, which they're great. Okay, we were so grateful for that situation that we were able to do that. But like anything, your in-laws, yeah, he doesn't want to hang out with my dad all the time, right? I wouldn't want to right now live with any set of my parents or with Garrett's parents. Like when you reach an age, you're an adult, you're like, okay, I'm done with this, right? Like a parent's job never truly ends. So it was really nice when we moved in. And my tip for you would be, try and find a neutral place. Like instead of extending your lease or extending his lease, like finding a new lease as like a new beginning, and that way like both of you are kind of displaced, like you all have like your own boxes and you have to bring them in, and it gives a better setting. And honestly, like it's more just neutral, okay? Nobody can claim any area. Nobody can have any claim to, oh, well, this is how I've always organized my kitchen, or this is how I've always had it. I think it would have been better for Garrett in that aspect. And also I think that I wouldn't have felt so under attack for all of my things. Like, oh, like he's bringing him in and he has all his boy things and he's just annoying. Like now I have to have like share closet space. I will say, coming into our home, I will also recommend 2 bathrooms. We have a master bathroom, which we both use. And then we have the guest bathroom that I use. I have my shampoos, like all of my actual bulk girl stuff is in there. I love to take my time getting ready or, you know, taking a shower or whatever. All of my fun stuff is in our guest bathroom. I'm talking my sugar scrubs, my deep conditioners, my expensive shampoos, body like butter, whatever. Like it's all in our spare bathroom. And I love having a separate bathroom. I love having space for me and not like at all having any of Garrett's stuff in there. None at all. Like he doesn't have anything in there. But I will say, like our master bathroom, I mean, it's both our bathroom, but I tend not to use that one as much. I'm instead getting ready in the other room. But yeah, good luck to you and moving in with your boyfriend. That's so exciting. Lay some ground rules, I will say, about like laundry or picking up and things, because it's never fair for it to like go on one person. It's like, oh, like you are gonna do all the laundry and I'm just gonna mow the lawn. No, like talk to him about that. Be like, okay, what are the rules? Like essentially it's kind of like having a roommate, but there's like a more intimate level, right? Like you're dating, but setting in some ground rules, like, okay, like who's gonna clean out the fridge from the leftovers? They're both our leftovers, but like, hey, I hope that you're enjoying today's podcast episode. Just a quick interruption to let you know that Golden Hour Drip has a weekly newsletter that comes out. This has bonus content, weekly updates, and future event information. If you haven't already, go down to the show notes, click the link, and join today. Now, back to the show. Can you also do it? Is it going to be me every time? Just having those discussions before emotions get tied to it or involved. Very, very important. Okay, next question. Who is your favorite contestant on The Bachelor? Okay, if you follow me on my vlog, we've had a couple batch watch party nights, so much fun. And if you haven't followed me on my vlog, it is Logan Lee Miller. It's on YouTube, so exciting. We also have the podcast on YouTube if you want a visual. I get those out, you know, day of podcast, if not the day after. But yeah, we've had some watch party nights. I think that's what's like adding to the Bachelor franchise for me. It's kind of like Christmas as a kid. When you're a child, you have like these great memories of Christmas, and I truly believe it's because of what work your loved ones put into it, whether they're like coordinating for presents or making Christmas cookies or watching movies or snuggling on a snowy day. Like those are all amazing things. And I feel the same with Bachelor. Like watching The Bachelor by myself, it's just okay. But I have such fond memories of being in my sorority house and like watching The Bachelor on the TV all together with my friends. That's so much fun. So now being able to like have these like little watch party nights with my girls, like to be able to hang out and watch it has just been adding so much nostalgia and happiness to me. Like it reminds me of being back in college and watching it, and it's also like building upon new memories, which is one of my other favorite things. I just like getting the gals together. I like chatting. I like literally just talking about nothing. Because ultimately, like, the bachelor has already chosen his, you know, fiance. Nothing we can say or discuss is gonna like change that, but it is still so fun to discuss, to talk, and to have opinions. So I've been loving it. As for my favorite top runner, I don't think she will win. I think she'll be, and I said this like literally the first episode we were watching, I was like, I love her. She's gonna be great for Paradise. Like I will be so surprised if they end up together. I just don't think that they will. But Maria is my number one top runner. She is so beautiful, and I love her personality. She to me seems like a very genuine, honest person, and I like how she goes about things. In the past, when we've seen a contestant get in a little bit of, you know, hot water, they are immediately on the defense. They're like, absolutely not, that was not me, I could not do that, that girl is, you know, dumb or whatever. And she took a second to evaluate her feelings, and she was like, you know, she said it in a way that was just like perfect. I cannot remember her exact words. But for me, a response, obviously if you're talking to someone, they need a response, right? Like we're having a conversation. But her just taking like a minute, like taking a pause on trying to get her emotions under control, I really have some respect for that. When I'm angry or I am in an argument, I do take some time to like think about the problem and cool down a bit, because I am very abrasive at times, and it does not, like, I love to state my opinion, and I will absolutely like say it like quickly and like this is how I feel, this is what I think. And I've noticed that like that's still some of my feelings, but my delivery might not be the best. Like I can take a step back and deliver it in a way that is going to be nicer or more appropriate for the situation, or allow me to be more empathetic and put myself in their shoes on how they're feeling. And I think Maria's doing that. Like I just think she is a great girl. I would love to see her on Paradise. I don't think her and Joey are gonna end up together, but she's my front runner. I do think that Daisy will be maybe the winner. I like Daisy a lot. She's so sweet, and I find her very charismatic. I also really like Rachel. She's definitely one of my favorites as well. And I find that she's also really genuine. She and Daisy both like have not been in the drama, even though there hasn't even been that much drama. Like it's literally about nothing. I don't know. I think they're grasping at straws because Joey is such like an unproblematic bachelor. But I am enjoying this season, and I'm enjoying it, watching it with my girls. I think it's the funnest. Last question. With Valentine's Day coming up, what is the worst date you've ever been on? Oh, well, okay, so I stopped dating when I was, 18 years old, because that's when Garrett and I started officially like dating and being together. And you know what? Dates. I think the worst date I've ever been on, oh my gosh, like for me, it's kind of hard to like pinpoint them, because I have to think back to earlier relationships, or even think about like some of the dates that Garrett and I had. So Garrett and I's like very, very, very first official date, we went to a little wing place. It's called Pickles? No, the Peanut. It was called the Peanut. And I had gone one time with one of my girlfriends, and we went right before a concert. And I wasn't driving, I was in the back trying to chug down a bottle of wine because I did not have a fake ID, so I had to pregame before. I was absolutely not driving, I was in the back, a little passenger princess, but I did not pay attention to where it was. And so I was like Googling the peanut and trying to find it. I was like, I know this really good Wingstop, let's go there. And at this time we had been talking for, I don't know, probably like a month or two. And this was like our first official date. And I was like, okay, like let's go to the spot. It's like really good wings. Like I was having dreams about these wings. They were so good. And I looked it up. I was like, okay, this is definitely it. I've been there. I'm like talking it up so much. I had picked the spot in Lee Summit that was like closed. So we get there and it's closed. And he's like, are you sure you've been here? And I was like, yes, like it's so good. We get there, it's closed. And I was like, oh, oh, it's closed. I promise I went here. I looked it up again and I had picked the wrong location. It was actually in Kansas City. We ended up going to the Kansas City location, and I think they have multiple locations in Kansas City too, because I don't think we actually went to the one that I had gone to. And that was really embarrassing for me because I felt like a liar. I was like, oh yeah, like I promise I've been here. But really I'm just like bad at directions and don't pay attention. So that's on me. Another bad date I would say was when oh my gosh, like going back, there was like one of my very, very first dates, like as a young little teenager. I remember my boyfriend at the time taking me to like, what was it, like Longhorn Steakhouse or something. And as we are, you know, having dinner and we're trying to act like adults, right? Like I think I'm 16 at this time, trying to act like adults. And as we're eating, one of our teachers actually comes up to us and he's like, hi, how are you guys doing? And I was so embarrassed because this is our he was our middle school teacher. Hold on. I think he was a middle school teacher, but he he was like the football coach at the time, or like one of the specials or whatever. I was a football manager. Boyfriend at the time was, on the football team or whatever. So here I am like 16, 17 and so embarrassed because of course we're trying to act grown, and our teacher, middle school teacher, had came up and he was like, hey guys, how's it going? Are you on a date? And I was literally so embarrassed. I was like, actually, like, no, like please don't talk to us. Oh, it was so embarrassing. I'm kind of getting like hot right now because it was just like, it was embarrassing for like your teacher. Like teachers do not have lives outside of school, right? Like they are not a part of like regular society. So I just remember thinking, this is embarrassing. I want to die, and not having a good time. So that would have to be like one of my worst days. And I'm sure like there's a ton more, but right now like I think my memory has just blocked them out because it's too painful to think about. But yeah, those were this week's questions for Ask Your Gal. If you want to submit a question, you could DM me on Instagram at Golden Hour Drip, or you can email us at goldenhourdrip@gmail.com. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!